Good morning. It is October the 19th. Wow, B2B Thursday is here. It's arrived, and excited to talk about today's topic. We found a blog. Well, we found several properties that belong to Brian Casel, Casel. That's how I'm going to say it. If it's a different pronunciation, I'm sorry, Brian. I just have to go with what's on the webpage. Brian interviews entrepreneurs, people that have productized their service, software founders, and other people to talk about business, about life, about insights. I've got a collection of links, and let's take a look. Well, at least we'll listen. That's more accurate. It comes up conversations about entrepreneurship, life, and the lessons we learn along the way, hosted by Brian. And a few of the topics, we won't go through all of them, just most recent ones. From training businesses to SAS with Brendan Dunn. And how to get 10 extra hours, wouldn't that be nice? And what to do with them. And he talked about solo funding and acquiring many skill sets. That was a good one. I listened to several minutes of that. These podcasts are all just under an hour long. They're pretty good. I invite you to give this a listen. We've got the link there in the show notes. If you go to blog.guyrcookonlineservices.com, click on today's date, October 19th, and bazinga, you'll find this page. That's what I'm showing on the screen right now. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see this content. If you're listening on MP3 player of some sort, thank you for listening, and welcome to the episode today. Also, and the same thing about productizing the services. If you're tired of doing this feast or famine solopreneurship, selling your services, just doing consulting, and sometimes you're doing a lot of work and sometimes not so much, well, there's a free webinar that's being done by WP WordPress Elevation and GoDaddy Pro on Thursday, October 26th at 3 o'clock Pacific time, my time. And it's a free 1-hour training session. I invite you to give that a look. I've looked through the notes on what they're going to talk about. I think it's going to be, you've heard me say this before, it's going to be a 23-jewel stem winding wonder of technology. I invite you to be there. And speaking of technology, the Guy Cook Report questions are the technology we applied to pick 5 of those 27 questions to make yourself more transparent. We'll set up to do an interview with you. And much like the Brian Casel thing, we'll talk about your life, your fantasies, what things make you click. Be finding. Let's get it done. Thanks to the patrons that have been patrons of this show. We couldn't do it without you. We appreciate your consideration very much. There's a link right there in the show notes to be a patron on Podbean. It's all set up automatic. It works. And if you're planning a new landing page, a project is in the works, and you're thinking, well, let's get another opinion. Well, give yourself another opinion with the planning session guide link. We've started on that years ago. We've built over, oh gosh, I think at one point we had up to 300 customers that were web hosting customers. Anyway, the planning session guide is to get it done and give you a good foundation to have a good plan, because good work comes from good plans, and hopefully that'll give it to you. Big thanks to Edinburgh Dusters, Fraser Ramsey, the main guy over there. He's out working right now. Edinburgh Dusters, if you're on that side of the ocean in Scotland, give Fraser a call. You'll understand his accent. Haha. And so it goes. I understand his accent too. The other thank you, Eileen Smith from basicblogtips.com. She told us about Screencast-O-Matic, which is a really good Windows screen recorder. We're using it right now. The other thank you is Friends Just Chatting, a Facebook group that's online. It's a private group. You have to apply for membership. Do so. I think you'll like the pond you're swimming in once you get there. Thanks to the people at YouTube for giving us space to put our episode into. The Spreaker, the Fire Talk, the interface that we're using for this and every episode. You can click to subscribe to the Fire Talk episode. There's a logo down there at the bottom. It says right there, join the channel. And you can see us, you can hear us on Apple Podcasts. You can see us on Pinterest. You can read it on Reddit. There's a Guy R. Cook report evaluation question we invite you to look at. Again, follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Thank you very much for listening to the October 19th episode of the Guy R. Cook Report. You have a great day. It's a wrap.